Everyone has dignity and value as a human being.
Being different can't be the reason for discrimination.
Understanding the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. We have the right to access everywhere and everything.
I have low vision. I had an unexpected accident while working at a factory. Look at the menu at a restaurant or do a presentation in front of a group of people. I need a magnifying glass. But sometimes I feel inconvenient when I try to find materials in a library or public facilities. There are some places where materials for persons with visual disabilities are all in Braille. For me, reading with a magnifying glass is more convenient than with Braille. Luckily, there are more facilities where have books with big letters and magnifying glasses. I'm glad that the right to use public information and facilities is being fulfilled.
In this lecture, we will learn about Article 9, Accessibility, Article 20, Personal Mobility, and Article 21, Freedom of Expression and Opinion and Access to Information from the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Article 9, Accessibility.
A splendid festival that is held every February in Goa of India, the Goa Carnival. It is a festival that is full of its impressive parades, street bands, dance, and performances. A group of people on wheelchairs joined this dynamic festival. People who had a difficulty in attending the festival were mesmerized by the splendid view of the festival. The reason that persons with disabilities were able to participate in this festival was because of OPDs, tourism organizations, and the host of this festival took measures so that anyone can easily participate in the festival. Thanks to their efforts, the elderly who have mobility difficulties and young children were able to enjoy the festival without any accidents. Likewise, we will be able to enjoy the true meaning of a festival only if everyone can safely enjoy it. The participants of this festival wish there will be more festivals like this in the future. Anyone, including persons with disabilities, the elderly, and children, can enjoy all.
How much were the people disappointed that they could not participate in this joyful festival? It's good to know that the festival became guaranteeing the accessibility of everyone. In the UN CRPD, Article 9 guarantees the accessibility of persons with disabilities. Shall we take a closer look? States parties shall take appropriate measures to ensure to persons with disabilities access to the physical environment, to transportation, to information and communications, and to other facilities and services in order to enable them to participate fully in all aspects of life. Specifically, buildings, roads, transportation, and other facilities, including schools, housing, medical facilities, and workplaces, and information, communications, and other services must ensure the accessibility of persons with disabilities.
Persons with disabilities may have difficulties in accessing necessary technology, means, and services.
It is very important to be able to access various services and facilities freely and without inconvenience for enjoying our lives. Therefore, in Article 9, Accessibility, it states that appropriate measures shall be taken to ensure to persons with disabilities access on an equal basis with others.
Appropriate measures? What does appropriate measures mean for increasing the accessibility of persons with disabilities?
The appropriate measures being discussed here means informing the available rights and services to the persons with disabilities in detail, and providing special materials, such as Braille and sign language, for the people who have difficulty in communicating using general methods. The accessibility not only towards buildings, which are physical objects, but also towards cognitive and technological categories must be ensured. As a result, in order for persons with disabilities to live independently and participate fully in all areas, active and positive measures must be defined with specifying regulations. Now, shall we solve a quiz? From the following, which is not an appropriate measure to ensure the accessibility of persons with disabilities? A. Buildings, roads, transportation, and other indoor and outdoor facilities, including schools, housing, medical facilities, and workplaces. B. Hardware and software containing special secrets of the state and information that is needed for the operation of the country. And C. Information, communication, and other services that include electronic and emergency services. What is your answer? The answer is B. The accessibility of persons with disabilities to other facilities and services opened or provided to the public must be ensured on an equal basis with others. Article 20. Personal mobility. Lift facilities for people using a wheelchair must be installed in the city bus or the express bus. After the enforcement of the Act on Promotion of the Transportation Convenience of Mobility Disadvantaged Persons in 2006, the ensuring scope of persons with disabilities mobility has been expanded. Likewise, in order to ensure the right to move independently for the persons with disabilities, Article 20, Personal Mobility, was created in the UNCRPD. If we look at the article, facilitating the personal mobility of persons with disabilities in the manner and at the time of their choice, and at an affordable cost, and facilitating access by persons with disabilities to quality mobility aids, devices, assistive technologies, and forms of live assistance and intermediaries must be supported. In this case, persons with disabilities and specialist staff working with them must receive training in mobility skills, and entities that produce mobility aids, devices, and assistive technologies should be encouraged to take into account all aspects of mobility for persons with disabilities.
I understood that live assistants and intermediaries are needed for the mobility of persons with disabilities. Then, would AI robots also be included in these live assistants or intermediaries in this article?
That is a good question. First of all, live assistants means personal assistant service providers next to the persons with disabilities, such as an assistant, reader, and guide dogs. And intermediaries are not someone that assists the persons with disabilities next to them, but rather an intermediary person or means of transferring information like sign language interpreter. And hardware or software that is used for the improvement of the quality of life of persons with disabilities are called assistive technologies. Because an AI robot is a technology that is useful for mobility or daily life, it can be seen as an assistive technology. However, just like robots, specialists and various animals that assist persons with disabilities in forms of live assistance would need to receive strict education and training. As the right to mobility is an important factor to enjoy daily life, select job, and live everyday life, the quality measures must be taken to ensure this right. Shall we solve a quiz? Which category would the following fit into? Among live assistants, intermediaries, mobility aids, and assistive technologies. Number 1. Guide dog. What is your answer? A guide dog fits into the live assistants. Next, which category would a wheelchair fit into? What is your answer? A wheelchair fits into a mobility aid. Next, number 3. Where would a sign language interpreter fit into? What is your answer? A sign language interpreter is an intermediary. Lastly, number 4. What about special equipment based on assistive technology? What is your answer? Correct. It fits into assistive technologies. Article 21. Freedom of expression and opinion and access to information.
Mrs. A, who is a housewife, spends a lot of time alone in her home when her family is not around or while her family goes to work. There are some cases when she is not aware of someone coming home or what is happening around her while she is reading a book or doing housework due to a hearing issue. There are even times when she misses phone calls. One day, after receiving a message from her daughter, she turned on the TV hurriedly. There was a forest fire nearby, and the whole region where Mrs. A lives in caught fire as well. Mrs. A, who was frightened, did not know what to do. But soon, she was able to calm herself down. It was because she was able to obtain information on the situation and evacuation way through a broadcast providing sign language. We would not know what to do if we are not appropriately provided information in an urgent situation. Mrs. A was able to respond calmly thanks to the emergency broadcast provided in various languages.
Like the case of Mrs. A, in Korea, sign language is provided not only on the emergency broadcasts, but also on the news screen. Emergency text messages are being provided in a sign language video as well, that ensures accessibility to information. Even during the spread of COVID-19 in 2020, the government's responses and briefings were provided in sign language so that everyone can access information such as the local status, guidelines for each level of social distancing, and the location of testing centers and treatment facilities. Especially the Korea Sign Language Act, which was enacted in 2016, clearly stated that sign language is an official language that has the same status with the Korean national language and enforced it by law. In order to ensure the access to information, the UNCRPD has prepared Article 21, Freedom of Expression and Opinion and Access to Information. If we look at the article, states parties shall take all appropriate measures to ensure that persons with disabilities can exercise the right to freedom of expression and opinion. For official interactions, accessible means of their choice by persons with disabilities must be used, such as sign languages and Braille. The Internet and mass media must make their services accessible to persons with disabilities as well. Everyone has the right to seek information and ideas through all forms of communication of their choice. In order to ensure these rights of persons with disabilities, providing appropriate technology and services for the type of disability, such as Braille and sign language, is required. Above all, recognizing the variety of communication methods, that is, recognizing Braille and sign languages as communication method, is required. Although the means may be different from one another, sharing a story is possible. Let's solve a quiz. Blank is a communication method for accessibility to information, communication, services, participation, education, etc. for persons with hearing disabilities. What is the correct answer for the blank? Was it too easy? What's your answer? The answer is sign language. The right to access everywhere and everything. Let's summarize the right again. Article 9. Accessibility. Persons with disabilities have the right to access the facilities, means, technologies, systems required in daily lives. Persons with disabilities have the right to mobilize with freedom. Article 21. Freedom of expression and opinion, and access to information. Persons with disabilities have the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas on an equal basis with others, and through all forms of communication of their choice.